Dear students, in this unit we will talk about alternation of generation in protists. First of all, we need to learn that what is alternation of generation. It is actually a process in which asexual reproduction replaces the sexual reproduction. So it's a kind of cycle in the life cycle of an organism in which once it goes through sexual reproduction and the other time it goes through asexual reproductions. Now, most of the protists, they have this alternation of generation in their life cycle. Now, what happens that some of the protists, they undergo only mitosis during their lifetime, but many of the protists, including slime molds, foraminifera, and many marine algae, they go through this alternation of generation in order to produce more and viable offsprings. Now, as I have talked that sexual reproduction replaces the asexual reproduction and then again the sexual reproduction, this life cycle is called alternation of generation, and almost all marine algae, they possess this ability of reproduction, and it results in a kind of variety. Now, asexual reproduction, it helps in getting large number of offsprings, while the sexual reproduction, it allows for more variation, so that with the passage of time, with the course of evolution, an organism can survive the favorable or changing conditions. Now, this chart shows the alternation of generation in asexual stage. Just like imagine that we have an algae, full-grown one. These algae produces flagellated spores which then swim in the aquatic environment, and it undergoes mitosis, and you can see that it's a diploid organism, and this diploid organisms, all of the spores, each of the spores which in diploid stage, it somehow produces a normal algae, the organisms, and which results in the production of normal algal organisms. While when we talk about the sexual stage in the alternation of generations, what happens that the normal diploid organisms, it produces two types of structures. One is called female reproductive structure and the other is male reproductive structures. Within these structures, we have egg cell in the female reproductive structure, while we have male nuclei in the male reproductive structure. Now, what happens that both female and male reproductive, the gametes, which is male nuclei, and egg cells, which are haploid, they fuse, combine with each other, and they form zygotes. This zygotes, which is diploid now, it develops into a grown, mature algal organism, which can then undergo asexual stage in order to repeat this cycle of alternation of generation. So these protists, they are successfully repeating these different cycles in order to increase their offsprings and in order to have viable offsprings according to the changing environment.